Hi, I'm Sister Simone Campbell. I'm the Executive Director of Network, Lobby for Catholic Social Justice, and leader of Nuns on the Bus. We have a treat in store for us today. We are at the Hemphill Community Center in Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky. And we're going to be talking with Evelyn, Mary, hopefully Savannah, in order to learn about the Black Sheep Brick Oven, which is this amazing pizza place that's part of the community center. But first, before we get started in that conversation, they shared with us a brief video that gives you a feeling for their community and for the area in which they are in Eastern Kentucky. So let's see the video, and then we'll have our conversation.
We have been over 100-year mono economy, and suddenly that economy of coal has collapsed and is all but gone. We have a sort of social haunting. Unemployment brings depression, brings addiction, brings jail time with no reprieve. We went through a dark night of the soul trying to figure out what in the world to do. I mean, we fueled the Industrial Revolution. It's our way of life. But here's my thoughts on that. We don't have an aversion to science. We know about carbon emissions, but we don't want to be on unemployment or worse, be slanging drugs for a living. Because I got a history. We all deserve a second chance. So let's try to build a new economy. And so that's kind of what has happened with this bakery project.
If you put a little finesse to it, it'll be smooth as silk. And if you're eating something really pretty, it tastes different than something that's not. Placebo effect.
We have to have it 900 degrees, and you got to keep it good and hot. You can't forget it. A little saying since I was a kid: if you name it after somebody that loves you, if it burns, they really love you. I mean, that's an old lifestyle.
You know, after I got out, work was impossible. I mean, look at me, tattoos everywhere and felonies. So nobody's going to say, oh, you're perfect for this job, And Gwen started talking about the bakery. And I was like, bake, I cook ramen noodles.
What people around here have been used to has typically been this bread that's kind of like the lint that you take out of your dryer. So we began to try to source the best things we could get our hands on. And we began to bake from those things. And it's not been easy.
Gwen put me on the pie crust, and that day I said, look, it's whooped me. I quit. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing this pie crust. The next day I come in, she had the rest of that pie crust. She said, look, if you fall off a horse, you're getting back on it. Get on that pie crust.
You just got to stay at it. You can't become discouraged when something don't work out, because sometimes machinery fails you, sometimes ingredients will fail you. But we are human, so we fail too.
I lived a terrible life. I mean, I wouldn't buy a loaf of bread, but I'd go buy me a rock. I mean, I was a terrible, terrible person. And I can't take that back now. But this place picked me up.
Some of us haven't been incarcerated, but it was better luck than conduct, myself included.
10 years ago, addiction was taboo here. Now, if you're in recovery, they're praising you to give you motivation. And this is kind of like the center point for it all in Letcher County. People are seeing that we deserve a second chance.
We have created an inclusive place of love and belonging for whoever wants to come. no matter what the religion, no matter what the sexual orientation, no matter what the background, no matter what the race. We try to make a place where everybody can fit in. I need that place too. And just to be a part of it is very rewarding. It's my take on it.
You're about to lose your bandana.
I'm about to lose
You
it.
told me to say if your hair was.
It's not only my bandana that I'm about to lose.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't try to let things get me down because I know there's always tomorrow. And I love this place. I mean, it's really helped me a whole lot.
I can pretty much cook, anything now. And to me, it's the best feeling in the world because I'm like, man, look where I'm at now, I love my life right now. I love what I do.
I've always been the black sheep of my family, which gives me a heart for others who fall into that trap.
Thanks for watching this video. For more inspiring stories like this,
Now we get to hear from Gwen, Evelyn, Mary. Who all we've got here? Okay, maybe we could start with Gwen. Gwen, do you want to introduce yourself? Or Evelyn, do you want to introduce yourself? I'm getting confused because I can't see you, so I can't see who's there. Can you just...
I'm sorry, something. I don't know what's wrong with my camera on this thing, and I tried to get on my telephone, and I couldn't get it.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Just introduce yourself. Give us your name and.
My name is Evelyn Adkins, and I work at the Black Sheep Brick Oven and Bakery at Hemphill. I've been there probably about 16 months. 18 months, maybe. Yeah, probably about 18 months.
That's great, Evelyn.
No, I've been there about 15 months. I came to work there as a community service, with community service where I'm in a drug treatment program. And that place has been a big part of my recovery. Gwen's very supportive. She's very supportive, and just the love and stuff. She's behind us. She don't care to tell you how she feels about things, and she's very vocal. She thinks, so she's been a real big part of my recovery, and I owe a lot to her because they've been times that I've really been down, and she's really helped me. Yeah. But we've got that community center right now with the COVID thing. The last few months has been a little different than usually, because we usually have a lot of things going on in the community center with the community and stuff. But right now that so many people everything's just on hiatus. It seems like with this COVID. But
the COVID's been really hard. Let's get Mary in the conversation, and then we can chat. We're still hoping that a couple of people will be able to join us maybe a little later. But Mary, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Mary Roberts, and I've been working at the bakery for about 4 months now. And I'm very grateful that Gwen gave me a second chance, because there's not many places around Eastern Kentucky that even offer the first chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Things have been really hard for you in Eastern Kentucky, I think, with the loss of coal and employment, and those have been challenges.
Very challenging, because around here, if they look at your past, not to, what I'm saying, not how you're doing now. So it's really hard to even try to find a job if you've been in jail, or if anybody knows anything bad about your past. They look at that. They don't look at how you're doing now.
Yeah.
So.
And Mary, is it harder in a small town area because people know who you are? Does that make it harder?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows everything.
But
everybody knows everybody here, you know.
For good or for bad. That's a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
How close to the bakery do you live? Are you close?
I live about 25 minutes from it.
So it's still a commute. Whoa.
Yeah, I live across Pine Mountain, and the bakery's in Neon. So
Okay. Oh, good. We're getting Glenn.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Glenn.
I'm trying to get this camera turned around. I'm sorry for being late.
That's all right. You got here just at the right time.
Good.
Can you figure out where to, or maybe just physically turn your camera around?
Yeah, I'm trying to okay. I'm trying to get it.
There
Okay.
you go. Hey there.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh my gosh, we got to watch the video. Oops, we lost her. Okay. Those who are listening, this is a challenge in rural communities all over our country, is getting good internet connection. We need to support getting good internet connection every place. It's like electricity back at the turn of the last century. We need to make sure all our people are on the internet, right? All right. Okay, that's going to be our campaign. Make sure you're all connected. How's that? Okay, so Glenn, can we start with you and talk a little bit about how did you start Black Sheep Brick Oven? How'd you get that going? That's pretty amazing.
Well, we had a dream of a brick oven, and there was a funder who came to see us, and he asked if we had a wish list. He was there concerning a partner organization that we partner with, and he was just going to ask questions about our collaboration with them, and what kind of a relationship that they had with the community and that sort of thing. And so while there, we were just showing him around, and we were showing him the kitchen and our all of our workspace and all that. And he said, do you have a wish list? And I said, well, of course we do. And he said, what's at the top of the wish list? And I said, a brick oven, so we can make that pizza that they're making across the nation in those brick ovens, and bread and those sort of things. And he said, well, do you think you have someone around here that could build such a thing? And I said, well, we don't know, because those things are scarce around here. Probably there's not one like ours within, I'd say, 100 miles of us.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a private one in a yard that was built by an early coal miner who came from Italy back in the early 1900s. There's one in a yard, but it's not being used commercially. But it's the only one I know of in about 100 miles of us. One that's authentic. And so a few days later, I get a call from a guy I was working with in Berea, and he said, well, we had a visitor, and he said, it looks like you're going to get a brick oven. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, you're getting it, but don't say I said anything. And so that's how the brick oven came into being.
Wow. So if you say your wish, it can happen.
Yeah, well, I just spoke it out into the universe, I guess.
I love it. I love it. Well, Evelyn, I'm curious, how did you get to the brick oven? What got you there?
Well, I got arrested, and I went to I got in drug court as far as my probation. And we was having our meetings at a homeless shelter on
Uh-huh.
Wednesdays and Sundays, and we had to move the meeting. And Gwen was nice enough to let us have our meetings up there in one of the old classrooms. And I went in on Wednesday night, and she called me over to the door of the kitchen and asked me if I'd be interested in coming to work, maybe part time. Said it wouldn't be maybe one day a week. And I said, yeah, Lord, yeah, because I was doing community service at a little park up here in the community that I live in, and I had cooked, in restaurants around locally and stuff back when I had work and stuff. And I went out to work, and I've been there ever since. It's just,
Wow.
it's really, and it's helped me. It's helped me a whole lot. It's like family.
Oh, yeah. So having family, being connected, having a way to serve, I think that would be important.
Yeah, it's like you got your home family and you got your work family.
That's great. Mary, what got you to? Oh, good, and we have Savannah joining us. Great. Mary, what got you to the Black Sheep Brick Oven?
I got put in drug court after I got arrested for a possession charge, and I was in it for about a month, and I ended up messing up and failing the drug test. So they sent me back to jail, and they sent me to treatment. And whenever I got out of treatment, I'd done 30 days in treatment. I was at a meeting, and Evelyn had mentioned that they were needing somebody at the bakery, and me and Evelyn knew each other already. Yeah, and which I knew Gwen too. And hold on one second. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Don't worry.
I knew Gwen too, but I just had forgot, to be honest with you, because when I met her, I was in active addiction, and it was just crazy. But anyways, Evelyn had mentioned that they was needing help, and I asked her, I told her I needed a job, because in drug court, you either have to do community service for free, or you have to have a job, and who wouldn't want to have a job besides doing free work?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, Evelyn talked to Gwen, and the next day Gwen called me, and I've been working there ever since.
Wow. So what kinds of things do you do at the bakery?
I help bake and stuff, but I mostly do the pizzas.
My favorite. Wish we were there.
It's really good pizza.
Well, Savannah, welcome. We're just getting started. We got to watch the video I hope you've seen about with Gwen at the bakery. And I'm curious if you can share with us, how did you get connected to the bakery?
How about it?
Yeah, how did you get connected to the bakery? What brought you to the bakery?
I went to jail, and I got out in drug court, and you had to either have a job or you had to work for free. So Murray talked to Gwen and got me a job with her.
So what have you been doing at the bakery? What are your jobs at the bakery?
A little bit of everything. Like, I help cook stuff, clean, just whatever.
That's good. Do you have a favorite part? What's your favorite part?
I like to cook.
Well, I've tasted the pizza, so I know you do good work there. It's excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Well, Gwen, I'm curious. So it seems like you're the connector in the community between drug court and making sure that people get second chances. Can you talk a little bit about how you support your employees and what kind of what's important for sobriety?
Well, we have to work around things like drug tests, groups. We'll be in the middle of working, and they'll have to connect with their counselor. And so we just try to roll with whatever drug court designates for them to do. We just try to make sure that they get to do that so that they don't get in trouble with drug court. And and then the work gets done too. So sometimes it's pretty challenging. But lately, with the pandemic and everything being remote, it's much easier.
Oh, well, why is it easier? Oh, you mean
It's
drug
easier
court? Drug
because
court is easier.
all their groups and their counseling sessions and those sort of things can be done virtually now instead of in person.
Oh, so the they can do it from the bakery itself. They don't have to. Folks don't have to travel. Is that?
Yeah, so we'd be right in the middle of making something or completing some sort of a task at the bakery, and one of them will say, "Oh, I have to call Holly, or I have to call so and so," and and they'll just drop out of whatever we got going on and make that phone call and talk to that therapist or counselor or whoever it may be. And their court appearances are remote now as well.
Oh,
And it used to be that they had a certain amount of counseling or therapy sessions during the week, and a court appearance used to be on Wednesday, and they would have to be at those things in person. So it's a little less challenging now that they can do that virtually, because they can just drop out and take a break from their work at the bakery and meet those deadlines.
wow. Well, that's great. There's some good news with COVID-19, because usually it's just bad news we hear. That's great. Well, both you, Mary, and Savannah mentioned the tension around for drug court that you need either a paying job or free service, doing some sort of community service. And I'm wondering, could you talk a little bit more about what it means to be able to have a job, or what kind of work you would be doing if you had to do community service? What's the difference between the two? I think I'd be really curious in finding out.
I worked at the food pantry. We give out free food up there like once a month to people that needs it.
Uh-huh.
And they work you 5 days a week from 10 till 3 in the evening. But we was picking up garbage too up on Pine Mountain.
Oh, wow. So it's more physical work as opposed to doing like making something like you do at the bakery? Is that a
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see that.
It's
Yeah.
different.
And Mary, how about for you? What would be the difference for you, do you think?
The difference for me is definitely getting paid, because you have to have money to live regardless, you know what I mean? And when you're working a paid job, you just get more, I don't know, you feel better about yourself because you can take care of your own responsibilities and stuff. And if you're doing community service, yeah, you're helping your community, but you know what I'm saying? That's just taking time out of time you could do to put applications in and stuff like that to get an actual job.
Right. Good point. Good point. Well, I'm curious with Evelyn too. You've been the longest time at the bakery, and I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about what it takes to stay sober, because it's not easy. I know that. It's hard work to stay sober. And how does the bakery help you, and what do you need for your sobriety?
Well, I celebrated 20 months, I think, Thursday, this past Thursday.
Congratulations. That's fabulous. Wow.
It's been hard. It's been hard. But, I know that I have consequences to my actions. Before, I didn't really think about the consequences when I was using, because I thought, I just didn't care. But now I know that if I use, I'm going to go to jail. And one thing that stressed to me when she hired me was that she really needed me to be able to be dependable and to not be put in jail, because she had several of the workers that she had to, pretty much run the place, her and her grandson, by themselves, because they were in treatment, because they had messed up.
Wow.
They went to treatment. So that's one thing that really fueled me was I have to be able to keep my job. I can't let Gwen down. And that helped me a whole lot. And knowing that every day that I was clean, I felt stronger.
Wow.
You get stronger. There was a lot of times I cried myself to sleep at night because I couldn't get high at first. I ain't gonna lie
Yeah.
about it. It was hard. It was hard. But now it's just like it's a way of life for me. And I can't imagine being back out there in that. I just wished everybody could feel like I feel
Yeah.
sober. Like this morning, I woke up and my niece brought her 2 little babies here for me to watch. One's 4 months old, one is 5. Then my
Wow.
other niece, her sister, calls me and says, "Are you busy today? Can I bring Easton by? He's 4."
Oh
So
my God.
before that would have never happened. My little granddaughter, I got her here right now. She's 12. I had my brother go pick her up. I said, "I've got something I have to do, and I need you to help me with these babies." But that wouldn't be my life if it wasn't for drug court, this
Wow.
bakery giving me that chance to get better, because I
Yeah.
could, I'd be probably back in jail. I would have been doing God knows what because I wasn't stable. And I was just, wishy-washy about everything. I really was a terrible, terrible person. I mean, when I look back at it, I was sick.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I was a bad person. I was just sick. People don't realize how much this disease controls you until
Oh
you
my
don't
gosh.
let it control you anymore. When you don't let it control you,
Yeah.
when you stop letting that there's a little saying, the monkey may be off my back, but the circus is always in town. That circus is always in town, but that monkey, he's gone right now.
Okay.
He can always be circus.
Okay. So say that again. Say the slogan again, because I think that's
Okay.
really good. Okay. So
The monkey might be off my back, but the circus is always in town.
Okay, remember that, folks. The monkey is off my back, but the circus is always in town. And I think that is the problem with addiction. It really is so challenging to stay sober.
And
Amazing.
I've had so many things happen to me.
Yeah.
But one thing in particular happened to me in court with the judge. He really called me a liar, and I was really upset. I was more hurt that the people that had put me in a position to get better and to do better didn't believe me that I was actually better, that I was getting better. And that hurt me deeply that he didn't believe in me. And I was so upset when I went to the meeting after court that day, and Gwen saw me so upset. And that night she called me and we talked for hours on the phone I was so on the verge of relapse.
Oh wow.
I think I had about 8 months clean at that time. And that was the closest I ever come to relapse. And I come on her throwing it all away. But it was the help of Gwen and my friend Frankie that was in drug court with me. Those 2 people right there, that's the only thing that really saved me.
Making all the difference.
She reached out to me, and people that she could see in my eyes that, that I was about gone. But that when I made it through that, I said, I think that I'm going to be okay. I believe I'm going to be okay.
Wow.
Because that was the close, but other than that, that's the only time I really thought about it. This is I got stronger. I mean, and people that think they can't do it, you can. It's fear. Fear keeps people in the madness. Fear kept me in it because I didn't think I can't live without my drugs. I can't live, and I didn't just.
Interesting.
Well, it's fear.
Yep. Well, before we started this broadcast, you were talking a little bit about how important meetings are to you too, and I hear being able to contact Gwen or talk to others is really important. But I'm wondering, how do all of you deal with meetings in this COVID time? It must be challenging.
Well, we shut our meetings down. We couldn't, the governor had us not be able to meet. Restaurants were closed, businesses were closed. So every place that we met, they closed the doors on us, So we, for a few months. Well, then in May, I think it was May the 22nd, the governor opened back up, said that we could meet in groups, of 10. So me and my friend Frankie, he's our GSR. He's over. He's the one that takes our news back to area. I'm the secretary treasurer of our home group. It's called Hope Without Dope, and we decided we were going to try to open our meeting up on a Sunday, and we started meeting back at Fish Pond Lake outside because if you're outside, they say the chances are better. So it was springtime. It was rain, and it rained up like cats and dogs that first Sunday.
Oh no.
We took a gas grill. I got a gas grill. We took that gas grill up there. We cooked out hot dogs. We had a big get together because we hadn't had a meeting in 2 months, but on Zoom. So we had our first face-to-face meeting, and then we met up there on Sundays. And then I said, we need 2 meetings a week. We need to start meeting back at the bakery. So we started going back to the bakery and meeting outside under the little pavilion we got out there. We got a little shed. So we meet up there on Wednesdays. But that meeting on Sunday, we have a rehab. ARC has a rehab center up in Goose Creek. They've got probably about 60 guys at that facility. There's some of them sober living in Neon, and there's like 40 guys up in Goose Creek. They have like 3 different houses they live in. And they let them come out on Sunday to our meeting. And this is very important to those people. This meeting, a lot of them, that's the only, they come out and go to that, and they get stuff off their chest. A lot of them talk about their families. I mean, it's just really important. Those meetings has kept me clean, because there was a time that I had to go. I felt like I had to go, but my have to become a want to. Yeah. And I mean, I would go to meetings 5 days a week. And if I could right now, I'd go every day, because you don't know if you're going to say something that's going to help somebody, or you may be sitting there going through something and somebody say something that helps you. Because I would be in the bed going to sleep at 6 o'clock in the evening, and my buddy Frankie would call and he'd say, "Let's go to the meeting," and I'd get up. He'd guilt me into going, and I would go. I would cry all the way there, and I'd cry all the way back. And then one day I went with him, and something the girl said, it just clicked for me, and that turned my whole thing. It turned my whole way of thinking around, and that really got me. Those meetings is what got me on my right path, and it wasn't all the counseling, the clinical. I sit through hours of counseling with drug court. That counseling didn't help me, but those meetings, listening to other people share about the same thing that I was going through. And that made the difference. That made the difference. Yeah, I hear you. So we're struggling.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, it's always going to be a struggle. I mean, that's the problem with addiction. Is it may get easier, but it's something. It is a disease that you got to keep attention to, and being real about it, I think, is so important. Well, I'm curious, Mary and Savannah, if you could talk about how are you maintaining your sobriety, and how does the bakery help you with this? I'm curious, because you've talked a little bit about community and talked about it's better to make a paycheck than to just do volunteer work. But I'm curious, how is the bakery helping you with your sobriety?
I think having somebody to depend on you like that, that helps keep you sober, because you don't want to let them down. And they're having trust in you. That helps too, because it takes a lot to build your trust back up once you've been an addict, you know what I'm saying? Because you disappoint a lot of people in addiction. And once somebody starts trusting you and stuff, you don't want to let them down. You don't want to disappoint them, And just having something to do to keep you occupied. And, because when you're bored, that's dangerous in recovery. It really is. So having something to do and stuff like that helps a lot. In the bakery, you know what I'm saying, that gives us something to do. And it helps the community, because a lot of times when we, like on Saturdays, when we have stuff left over, we'll donate it to the rehab and stuff.
Oh, that's great. So it's helping people too. Savannah, how about for you? How does this help your recovery?
It gives me something to do, but most of all, it keeps you busy and keeps your mind off everything. So.
And have you found friends there too? Are you making connections?
Yeah. The NA groups help a lot too, and the
Um,
people that's in drug court with us.
yep.
We got some good people in that, so
Well, that's good because you can't do this alone. It's hard work, as you know better than I do.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Gwen, can I ask you about the how you are able to keep the black sheep going during this COVID time? What have you had to do differently? How's it working?
Well, for a little while there, we did deliveries because we had another person on staff who had a
Uh,
car and a driver's, and we were able to do that. And then, and we were delivering curbside so that people didn't have to get out and come in, and we're still doing that. But we've had to shut down the dining room, and from about the middle of March until Labor Day weekend, we didn't have any live music, and that's always been a big part of anything we did there. Was we've always had live music. We're sort of a culture bearing organization in the area, and so to keep the local music, we have a thriving music culture, always have in the mountains, and to keep that part of the culture alive is very important to me. um, as well as other forms of art. But we didn't have any music from March until the 1st of September, and I just felt so lost without that part of it, and people were always asking about it. So we were able to construct a pavilion outside where we can social distance and have some events, rain or shine, in case it's going to rain or whatever. And we put ceiling fans in it so that it would cause the air to be moving all the time, which I've read some research on that lessens the possibility of
yeah.
getting COVID-19. And we just ask that everybody social distance and bring their own chair. And we offer for them to bring a pop-up tent for their party if there's a number of them coming. And we
Oh,
started
wow.
the music
That's
back up.
great.
And so, yeah, so people can purchase their dinner from us and go out and listen to the music under the pavilion or wherever they want to be on the grounds, and have some semblance of normalcy during
Yeah.
this crazy time we're in. So that's always been really important. The first, Labor Day weekend, we had 4 music ensembles outside who played about 45 minutes apiece. And when I know this is going to sound crazy and it makes me cry to even talk about it, but when the people began to dance, there was so much joy in that for me,
Wow.
because we have been going through such a hard time in this part of the world, but as well worldwide, that when there was that form of joy, it was a highlight for me.
Wow. Wow. Mary and Evelyn, did you get to be there for the music?
Yeah. Yeah,
Was
we
it
were
great?
there.
Yeah, we were there. We were
Well,
mostly inside cooking and stuff, but we went out there and watched a few of it. It's good.
it was good to
It's
get
such
to
a
see
difference.
some of the musicians that we hadn't seen in a while. It was really good because they hadn't been there. We've missed out on it. That every Friday night picking, that was one of the highlights of the week. And you get
Wow.
used to all these people, but life as we knew it is not the same anymore. And I mean, we've lost a lot of people. I think people are dying of depression these days.
Whoa. Whoa.
And we've had a lot of loss around here. I don't know. I've been sad over a lot of things lately, but it was good to have those people back. Some of them I hadn't seen since March, or February
Wow.
before
Yeah.
I started. So having that started back, it just, this COVID has drove us all batty.
I hear you. I live in the city and it's driving me batty, that's for sure. Wow. That's really kind of exciting to see such a great gift for your community that could lift your spirits like that. I understand COVID has hit you kind of hard these days. Is that the case?
Yeah, I had 4 people in my family that had it.
Oh wow. Oh dear.
The little boy that I've got here right now, he had it.
Oh
He's
my God.
3 years old. Yeah, he had it. I think he'll be 4. He had it. His mother had it. She got it, and his grandmother had it, and then my other niece, she had it.
Wow.
My brother, he's elderly. He's in his 70s, and he's got a real bad lung disease. He's got black lung.
Yeah.
He had to leave home because they lived next to him, and his granddaughter was living with him at the time, and he had to leave. He just left home to keep them all from having to leave. He left home.
Right.
So he felt like he'd be safer. But it hit our family pretty hard there for about a month. It was just like I had to stay off work for 2 weeks because I'd been exposed because I babysit.
Yep.
So,
we had to keep people safe. I mean, that's what we have to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Mary? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Evelyn.
No, I was done.
All right. Mary and Savannah, how has COVID-19 affected you? Because I know one of the things that's happening for us, it often affects, kind of a depressing thing. So we find ourselves kind of depressed sometimes. And I know that's really hard when you're dealing with addiction. Have you found that for yourselves, or are you finding ways to keep your spirits up?
For me, it's not. I mean, it's changed because everywhere you go, people put masks on and all that stuff. But I really don't go anywhere besides work, meetings, and home anyway. So nobody in my family's got it or anything like that. So it's not really changed a whole lot. But I could see, the change in the community and stuff because everybody's getting scared of it now. Because around here, like 25% of the people has it in Letcher County right now. Yeah.
Oh my Lord! Oh whoa!
Yeah, so the numbers are really, they're getting really high around here. So you can tell like everything's slowing down. You know what I mean? We're in the red right now. So
you need to be careful, really careful.
Yeah, taking all the precautions we can. So it's best to stay at home as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible to stay home, so just wear your mask, I guess,
That's it. Yeah. How about for you, Savannah? I'm surprised that there's so much COVID right now. That must be really hard. What's it like for you?
It's changed a lot. I mean, it keeps you from going places that you want to go, but it's safer to stay at the house. So I pretty much, if I'm not working, I'm at the house.
Yeah.
So,
are you able to keep your spirits up? Because sometimes when you can't meet with people, I find I get depressed. I don't know about anybody else, but I like to be face to face.
It's kind of depressing a little bit, but I mean, the people that I'm in drug court with keeps me going, because they're about the only people I talk to anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's that. I can see how they become really community and supportive for you.
Yeah, and when you get clean,
being sober. Yeah.
When you get clean, you don't have as many friends or people around. So
you don't have as many friends because your friends were all users before. Is that why?
Yeah, mostly.
Oh. And so you're in the same community, but you can't be around your old friends. That must be really hard.
Yeah.
Well, they really wasn't friends, probably,
Yeah, well, there's that. Yes.
Yeah.
Just kind of using together. Was that the deal?
Yeah.
Unless you had something to offer them, they wasn't around. And that's just the truth.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're finding real friends and real commitment to connection. I mean, that's so important for us to live.
Yeah, you have to have a support system if you're in recovery. That's one of the main things. You know what I mean? If you don't have a support system, it's hard to continue because it just is. I mean,
Yep.
But as long as you have that and people, realizing that you're doing better and acknowledging it, it does help.
Yeah. And having a job and having meaning and being able to produce fabulous pizza. Anybody in Letcher County, make sure you go to the Black Sheep Pizza. It is fantastic. We got to have it when we were there last January, and I still think about it. So it's really good. Brick oven pizza. It's really good. Crispy crust, delicious toppings. It's great. Okay, we only have a few minutes left. So I'm wondering if I could ask each of you to share with the folks that are watching one thing that you think is really important for either staying sober, building up your community, dealing with COVID, one of those topics. Let's give our listeners some sense of direction, hope, some learning that something that you've learned in this really challenging time. So I don't know who wants to start, who has an idea to begin with, but
I think in my recovery, the most important thing is I've got my family back. Because when I was in active addiction, I did not come around at all.
Wow.
And yeah, now like I stay home with them. They trust me now. You know what I mean? Like my sister trusts me with her kid, and she's told me, she said, before I would have never let you watch him. She does now. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And he loves me. And before I was coming in and out of his life, and he wasn't trying to get close to me because he didn't know when I'd be back. Now he's really close to me, and that right there means a lot. So having my family and having actually real friends now, you know what I mean? Because I know I have real friends now because I don't have to have something for them to want to be around me or whatever. They're there because they care about me.
Wow.
And
That's fabulous.
Gwen's an awesome boss. She really is, because she would do anything for us. And she's proved that several times, So I'm very grateful to have her as a boss.
That's great, Mary. I love it. Having family, having somebody you can trust, having a good employer. Woof. Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. How about you, Evelyn? What would you say?
Well, my family's really important to me. I've got my family back. I was like Mary. Whenever I was out there, I stayed away from them. But working a good program, attending my meetings, even if it's on Zoom, if you get into a meeting and you are in that meeting regularly, and people know you're having problems, they'll reach out to you, but you got to be able to reach out to others. You can't just wallow in something, because the relapse rate, people are relapsing every day with this COVID. We've seen it our own self in the program that we're in. We've lost a lot of good people that, they've relapsed. They were doing really good, and then when the COVID thing hit, they just couldn't deal with it. But you just got to be able to reach out to others, and don't be afraid to ask for help. That's the main thing. Just don't be ashamed, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because there's always somebody out there that knows what you're going through. That's one thing about this disease. It affects a lot of different people, and there's people that will understand when you don't think they will. That's what's kept me going, is having people that I could relate to. Talk to Gwen, and my job, being busy, staying busy. That's helped me during this COVID thing. Because really, whenever everything shut down, I never shut down. I stayed busy. I was right on the go. It didn't stop me. COVID didn't stop me.
For that.
The 2 weeks that I was on quarantine is the only time that it stopped me. But other than that, my life has not changed on account of it, because I've not let it. I've continued to work my program. I could have sat right here and humped up and just let it get the best of me. But no, I'm not going to let this disease win. I'm not going to let it get me.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. But it strikes me that what you said about having somebody who's relying on you makes a difference. I mean, all four of you have said that in some way. Having somebody that is counting on you helps you. And then being able to reach out to somebody who's struggling, that you can pay it back, that it may not be the same person, but you can support them. That's fabulous. Oh my gosh. What important.
That's what it's all about, is helping others. You know.
Amen.
We keep what we have, giving it away.
Yeah.
We keep
All
what
right.
we have. So, yeah.
Savannah, what would you say? What's the message you want to give?
Well, mostly is family. I got my family back and lost some family that I thought was, that loved me and stuff, but I guess they really didn't. But most of all is like waking up every day and not having to get up and take a pill or do some kind of drug to be able to get out of the bed.
Yep.
That's a blessing to not have to live like that no more.
Amen. And to stay at it. Stay at it. It's a day at a time, an hour at a time, isn't it? Whoa.
Yeah. Well, you see, I've been sober for almost a year now, and I pretty much got, things that I never thought I'd ever have again,
Yeah.
So
that's fabulous.
That motivates you to want to keep going too, and doing good.
Amen. Amen. Okay, and Gwen, you get the last word. What would be your message for our folks?
Well, I believe in the law of reciprocity. And, people have rallied around us and come to support our business. Since COVID-19 started, we've had people who come out every week or call in an order every week just because they're afraid we won't stay in business if they don't support us. And we try to pay back in a lot of different ways. As a business and as a community organization, we try to make sure that we pay some of that kindness back. And so in doing that, I believe that has helped us keep going. So I think, we want to give, and by giving, we believe that we will receive, and we do. And so it's a pretty cool thing that
I love it. Okay, so viewers, the law of reciprocity. It is that you give and you get given to. That's the back and forth. It's community. It's helping people stay on the path to sobriety, but it's also needing people. One of the things that touches me deeply is that when you're needed, it's easier to stay faithful and feel like you have meaning in life. Isn't that the most important thing? So, Black Sheep Bakery in Letcher County, Kentucky, thank you for letting us visit with you for a little bit today. We want to say that next time, I'm hoping we can have some of the pizza. But until then, know that folks out here that have watched this little video will be supportive of you, sending you good energy, and inviting you to continue your sobriety because your community needs you, your family needs you. And we are so grateful to have taken this journey together. So we'll be signing off, but next time we'll see you at the Black Sheep Bakery. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.